Hello YouTube. In my mission to show how easy it is to compile things from source, I'm going to be doing GZDoom today, and I'm going to be compiling this on Debian 12. I'm using whatever the latest version of Debian 12 is, Debian 12.10 I think. I literally updated this machine to this VM before the video. And GZDoom, if you're not aware, is a source port of Doom. Whenever I want to play any Doom WODs, which are basically mods, I use GZDoom. Some people don't like GZDoom because it's got a lot of modern features, but I actually like those. So I've usually used a Debian a deb file to install this on Debian, and there are ones provided. However, you can compile the latest version yourself from source actually very easily. And all we're going to do is follow the instructions. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to follow the instructions. So this says compile GZDoom on Linux, and it says open a terminal and copy and paste the whole code box for each step. Okay. And there's some notes. Right, so there's some notes about different versions of GZDoom and DPL. I'm not too interested in that. And we've got a list of installation dependencies that you will need to build it. So GCC 4.8 or later, make, CMake, SDL 2.0.2 or later, libgl and libglu. So you need that for essentially they're basically the OpenGL libraries essentially, and ZMusic. ZMusic we will compile ourselves as part of this process, and there's some recommended dependencies. So you need Git. You typically need Git to get a hold of the source. You can't download the tarballs manually, but if I do that, we can just Git clone it. And some optional dependencies. I'm not going to read them all out. And some other stuff. Runtime dependencies. And there's some. Basically, it's telling you that instead of using fmob, OpenAL can be used for sound, which case the following are required. I'm not sure if I care about that. So it gives us a list of dependencies installed. Now I am absolutely sure I've got make. I've got G++ installed already, as I'm sure it's part of the Build Essentials package, and we do. And we've got make, and we've got CMake. So we've got those. So I'm just going to copy the paste the rest of this because it's just a list of packages to install on Debian. And I'm just going to remove those. Oh, I think that was L there. libstl2, yep. Almost removed too much. Some of these dependencies will be shared. We already installed because this is the same machine that I did the EG32 compile on. So just run those and ask for a password. And it's add some new dependencies. So let's just run those in. 200 megs of dependencies. It's pretty normal. This doesn't take long on a fast internet connection. Good, done. And then these are the dependency install instructions for other distros. I'm not interested in any of these. It's basically package manager install these dev packages. That's all it is. And the first thing we need to do is compile ZMusic. It was listed as a dependency, and it's something we'll need to compile before we compile GZDoom. So let's just do that. It says copy and code. It said right at the start, copy and paste the whole code for each step. So let's just do that. So what does this do? You should always understand what the terminal command's doing, or at least have a good idea what it's doing. And that's just making a new directory. Done. Download the ZMusic source and create build directory. So this creates the CDs into the directory we just made. It does a git clone and a git clone ZMusic into a folder called or a directory called ZMusic, and then makes a build directory inside there. So let's just do that. Done. And it says to compile ZMusic. So moving to build directory, we tell CMake to basically use. So if I do, I think I've got tree installed. I've got tree? No, I haven't got tree installed. So it's sudo apt install tree. So if we go in here and we do cd ZMusic, we don't want to change because it'll break the instructions. So we go tree. Right, so it's up to here. So we do tree. I think it's and tree. Oh. So there's a lot of directories here, but this is build directory, and build directory we just created. I think so. ZMusic build, yeah. And then what this is, so this CD's into this directory, and it basically runs CMake on the source dir, which is above it, and then it runs make and it adds some configure options. So these are configure options in CMake. This is how you set them. It's a little bit different than just regular make. That's it. So we should let's just clear the screen. Oh, wrong window. And I should have done make J4. So it's be a little bit slower than it should be. Right. So that's built. And then it basically has some instructions updating it, and it's basically just cd back into a directory and do git pull, which will then get you the latest source code. And then what we're going to do is cd into here. Oh, I didn't follow the instructions. What this does is basically does a sudo make install. That's all that does. Boom. And we're not interested in uninstalling it this time, but it's good to know that they're there. And now we actually get onto making GZDoom. Compiling GZDoom. So download and prepare source. So let's just do that. And what does this do? It makes it CDs into a. Did I miss a step? I think I did. Oops. Right. So, and then we cd into that directory. It does a git clone, and then it makes a build directory. So let's just do that. It's very similar to before. And then what this does, it does some git conf. It basically CDs into that directory. It doesn't git changes the git config. It does something to do with the how it fetches from the origin. The origin is basically the Git repo on GitHub in this case, and it does something to do with tags. This seems to be local to the repo, so I'm just going to run it. Right, so we're already up to date. We're all good. Now, I already checked the version of GZDoom, but I will just show you. So GZDoom GitHub. We go to GZDoom GitHub. we need to check the version. And if we go to releases, it's 4.14, 4.14.2. So these instructions are for GZDoom 2.x. Well, we're on 4. So this is not, I don't think any of this is relevant. So we're just going to skip that. And then we've got some compile instructions. Now, this looks a bit scary. However, let's just talk through what it does. I roughly know what it does. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what it does. So what this does is this literally gets how many processes you got. I think. So bash 4 not found. So that evaluates as 4. And that's how many processes I've got, sort of how many threads on the CPU I've given this VM. So I basically think this works out the architecture. And then it CDs into the build directory that we made previously. It removes this .so library. And then this bit here is an if statement, and it looks for a particular, whether a particular fmod, I think it's the fmod API Linux thing exists. Then configure CMake, and then does CMake step, and then we did the make. So we're just going to run that because I understand roughly what that's doing. It's also on the ZDoom.org site. I'm pretty sure it's stuff from malicious. So it's not copied that for whatever reason. So we do that. And we wait for it to compile. Right, so that is that compiled. And we're just going to make sure it works. Now, it comes up with fatal error, and the reason it comes up with fatal error is because there are no IWADs. So an IWAD is basically a zip file, I think, that basically contains all the data for the game to run. So people make their own IWADs, and you can download these yourself. And these kind of like how Doom's modded is people add their own IWADs or use existing parts of the existing Doom or Doom 2 IWADs. So we don't have one currently. Well, we do because I downloaded it. But so if we go to my downloads here, there is some gump from the that I forgot to delete. So let's just get rid of that now. It will just cause some confusion. I'm just gonna delete this. So we don't need it anymore. And that's the shareware Doom IWAD. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that. And it says place one or more of these WADs in config .config GZDoom. So that's what we're going to do. So we literally just go to we just copy that. If we go home and we do Control H, it will show us the .files. And we find GZDoom, and we're just going to paste it in here. And we're going to exit. And it makes a GZDoom.ini. That's your configuration file for GZDoom. There's hundreds of options in here that you can set. But I'm just going to run it, and it should run and start up. Have I not? Oh, I need to extract it. So extract. And then it's this file. Yeah, so I need to cut this. Paste it there, and then let's just delete these because I no longer need those. So Doom 1 IWAD, let's just run this again. Right, so this is GZDoom, Doom shareware. Right, so it knows we've got the shareware. I'm going to change a few things because I know Vulkan's not going to work. So I'm just going to do, and I'm going to turn off full screen, and I'm going to put English UK, not that it probably makes any difference. And we do play game. and that's it working. So I'm just going to turn the sound down. These old games are really loud, and I've got a set of headphones on, so it's blasting my ears. One of the other things as well is I'm going to... Yeah, there we go. That's how it should be. Now, it doesn't capture my mouse properly in the VM, but I could tell you from experience that this does work correctly. It's just not capturing my mouse in the VM. I've tried it outside the VM and it works fine. But that is Doom running. Let's just quit that as we demonstrate that it seems to be working correctly. And there's one more step. So sudo make install. It's not actually listed in here. I don't think. Oh, installation. I don't think. Right, so this is create a launch script and stuff. I don't think we need any of this. I think this does. Yeah, this you don't need to do any. This is where you have to use your brain a bit. This doesn't. I don't think these instructions are correct anymore. So we're just going to just ignore those. And that is, so if we open up a new terminal, we cd to root, sorry, my home directory, and we do run GZDoom, it runs. So I'll do which GZDoom. Yeah, so that's in the USR local bin GZDoom. So these install instructions here, I would just ignore those. The installation instructions, just do sudo make install. I think these haven't been updated. Maybe I should message them and get it to update it. Or maybe I haven't read it. I don't think it says it's for any particular version, but I'm just skimming it. But the video is now 22 minutes long. It will be a bit shorter when it goes up. And I think we'll leave it there because I've demonstrated that how to compile GZDoom. So, so goodbye for now, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. So bye-bye.